This is Wake the F Up podcast.
F is for fabulous.
I'm Andy Dooley.
And I'm Kat Torres. Wake the F Up is all about celebrating the great drama of life, the beauty and the brutality. And
tapping into your true divinity, your creativity, because you are the universe pretending to be human.
It's fabulous. The whole idea is to get free, right?
Yes.
Wake the F up. Yeah, baby.
Oh, I'm awake and we are ready to be fabulous.
Yes, we are, because F is for fabulous.
Woo-woo!
How you doing, Andy Dooley?
I am in the mountains at the hot springs. I'm doing great.
That's a little bit fabulous. Bravo to you.
Yes, thank you. How are you, Kat?
I'm excellent. I am surfing the waves of contrast, but relatively gracefully, considering all of the life spectrum of nowness and non-nowness. Yeah, thanks for asking.
You're welcome. Yeah, I'm really excited about today's episode. Life is a game, not a test. Stop struggling and start soaring.
Excellent idea.
Yeah, and so one of the things I love about Kat and what you've done is taking time, like, you know, we have time, space, reality. And then you said, wait a minute, it's so real. You get so caught up in the drama of it and the ache and the working, not working. I'm winning, I'm losing. And you said, wait, let me turn this into a game. Let me make it fun. Let me make it playful. And so you've created a whole brand, a whole characters, a new vocabulary of explaining time, space. It's just amazing what you've done.
Thank you.
NOWism.
Oh, thanks, Andy. You know, like, really, the honest truth is I've actually created NOWism for me, because when I started studying all of the things about metaphysics and spirituality and personal development and all of the things, I started to realize that in order to truly stay present, that this was going to be like a huge mission. Like, there's so many moments in the day. And, you know, like when you light that candle in the morning, or if you have a controlled environment in the morning and you do all the lovely practices, you seem to be really on top of your own life and on top of your game. But then when you move into the day, like when you hit the traffic jams, or when you hit work, or when you are dealing with your family, your friends and all the things, it's like, boom, now how do you stay in equilibrium? How do you stay present? How do you stay in an alkaline frequency when you're actually, like, you know, you're really in sort of like the turmoil of life's variety? And that's when I realized, in order for me to really stay present, that I was going to have to make this into a game, because there's just too many moments in the day.
Yeah, we're bombarded. We're overwhelmed right now. The text messages are coming in.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for joining us live. And I mean, I'm sure those of you in the studio can relate to how fast life is going now, and how, you know, we were brought up with this old school of, you know, getting the right grade, getting our parents' love, you know, going to school, education. I'm winning, I'm losing. I passed the test, I failed the test. And to like pull back, and, you know, that's what NOWism does for me, is it pulls back. It's like, wait, this is a game. I'm a character. And like, let me play with this instead of, you know, being so hard and feeling like I'm losing all the time.
Yeah, you know, spirituality and these practices can sort of allude to a big seriosity, you know, like, you know, when you first start learning about this practice and you start to really drop in, and then you realize, you get quite horrified that you've got all of these limiting belief patterns. You got all of this like negative focus and these thoughts and these vibes that are actually, you know, you're holding yourself back. And then when you start to really look at the entire gig, it can feel really heavy, you know. And then stylistically, a lot of these practices branded a little bit serious, you know, like it's like, you got to go and like strip your life back. You've got to get back to the core of who you really are. You need to disengage from life in the way that you know it and actually, you know, align in a new way. And it can just feel like, holy shit balls, Batman, how am I going to actually tune into this new reality when I'm surrounded by my old reality? And so the task can appear very serious. And what I've learned over the years, and I know this is where Andy and I meet right in the middle of this moment, is that you know, life actually, and this practice in particular yields amazing results when we're being easy about it. And so by using the art of humor, using the energy of play, you can actually more simply become the right internal condition for your dreams to actually start true. And this is where, whether it's Manifestus Cafe or the game of NOWism, what we have here is a really sort of new, playful operating system that allows you all the wisdom and the depth of these, these ancient messages, these ancient, brilliant truths, but that it's coming in through the flavor of play. And I think that this is where we're in a really different leading edge sort of type of practice. And this is very suited to this time in human history because you've got news feeds and magazines and TVs and we got shit coming at us from everywhere. We are literally being bombarded by distraction. How can you be present, still make plans, stay easy about it, be about vision, but still like drop your moment terrorism? There's a big task at hand. But what if the answer is play?
Yeah, the answer is play. It is. There's no doubt about it. And I love that we're diving into this because the more I play in my life and the more you guys play, the more it just happens automatically. And the more I get out and the more I'm doing, whether it's comedy or going to an open mic or storytelling, and I'm playing in my work, I'm playing with the day, I just feel like, man, I'm in the receiving mode. I'm receiving the insights, the guidance, the clarity. And you've mentioned Moment Terrorism and the game of NOWism. Tell the audience a little bit more about Moment Terrorism and like how you take like the terror because, the world is trying to, media is the virus. They're trying to scare us into fear and lack and limitation. And, don't look at all the magic of life, hunker down and buy more insurance.
And it is a virus and they want it to be passed around via us, which is so genius, isn't it? It's like, I want to scare the shit out of you, then you're going to be fearful and then you're going to talk about it. And then the people that you talk to will get fearful as well. I mean, it's brilliant, really. The fear campaign has got some good marketing. But anyway, the word moment terrorism has actually been something that came through for me that when it came to negative thinking, when it came to pollution, moment terrorism was a word that was coined through me and NOWism when I realized that the idea of negative thinking sort of wasn't dirty enough. Like the idea of being negative is actually, it feels so light. It's like, oh, it's just a negative thought. But a negative focus over a long-term period is actually really dangerous, actually, to your vibration, to your energy, to all of the things. And so I came across this idea of the pollution of the present moment, the terrorism of the moment. And doesn't it sometimes feel like how it really is? Like when you start polluting your own present moment, when you start actually, having a negative focus, having a leaning towards that which is not working, all of the limitations and the fears and the doubts and the worries, and you get into a momentum all on your own, then what this sort of starts to feel like is actual terrorism of the moment. And so moment terrorism was a word coined by NOWism, which is really just, it just points towards the actual negativity that is taking place on a now-to-now basis through your own negative focus. And so in the game of NOWism, we're on a hunt to actually catch out the moment terrorists and actually interrogate them, understand them, sit them down, understand how they think, how they feel. What do you do when the moment terrorist hacks into your radio station, when your television station, your broadcasting facility, and actually understand it so that you can catch it out, switch it, lift it, and actually activate part of the toolbox to do something about it?
Yeah, switch it and lift it. Is that what you said? Switch it?
Yeah. Switch it, shift it, lift it. We have a bunch of tools in the game of NOWism that assists you to just be playful in the course correction. To be playful and actually jump-starting a new momentum.
Yeah, I love that. Like, wait a minute, you can feel, and that's the other thing, you can feel the emotions. Your emotions are telling you, hey, you're letting this bother you and this bother you and that bother you. Wait a minute, you can feel the emotions start to build, and it's like, wait a minute, I need to shift out of this. I need to shift and lift. And remember, this is a game. This is an illusion that I'm projecting through my consciousness, and it's designed to get me in it, because I created it. This is what I believe. I believe we created it. We're the masters, and we're so good at manifestation and creation that we created this game so we could play it. And now we've forgotten that we created the game, and we're like in the simulation. We're in it fully. And it's like, oh, I'm having a moment terrorism. Let me snap out of it. And remember, I'm dreaming this into existence. This is beautiful. This is divine. This is magic. There's gifts here.
Yes, there is. And, this is where, like, being playful about your own negative focus is far more useful than just being down about it. Like, one of the things we talk about at great length in the game of NOWism is sub-moment terrorism. And this is a sneaky type of moment terrorism when you get, angry at the anger, or you get frustrated at your own frustration, or you get sad about your own sadness. Like, instead of just feeling like, oh my God, I'm so messed up and I should be further ahead and I should be, you're being negative about your negativity. It's really sneaky, man. And it's so actually catching yourself out and giving yourself really the creative license to actually lean in a new direction and to actually drop it like it's hot, and align and shine and move into a new space with your own thinking, with a smile on your dial, and it takes some courage to do this, because after all, isn't personal development supposed to be a bit more serious?
We are here to make personal development fun and exciting. And I loved how we are negative about our negativity. And I remember a time in my life where I was learning to be a better speaker, and I was going to Toastmasters, and I started entering the contest, and, I won at the club level, and I was so excited. And then I moved on to the area level, and then I won that, and I worked on my speech some more and was getting feedback from the members in the club. And then I entered the division contest, and I won, and I was just like, oh my God, this is amazing. And I got to the division, and then you go to the district, and that's like the big, the whole district and all, it's a big dinner and everybody shows up for the speech contest. There's usually like 8 to 10 contestants. And, I was so focused on winning. And I got to win because, it's all about winning. And that night I thought I won, but the judges didn't think I won. And I didn't win this. I mean, I won other ones, but I didn't win this one that was really important. And so I beat myself up because, and I forgot that life's a game. And, I was beating myself up, and the negativity on the negativity, and then people saying, oh, you got robbed, But I then was like, okay, it's a game. It's a game. I'm here to learn to speak. I'm here to learn to tell stories and find humor in stories. And so I was able to, once I pulled back, got out of my moment of terror and could find the gifts. What's the gift in this? What can I learn from this? How am I growing? I mean, the fact that I got that far and did all the things, that was the real reward.
Yeah, that is the real reward. And, it takes courage to be able to just like look at the scenario, even though it's like shrouded in disappointment, and actually recognize that there's still something great to extract from this. There's still something wonderful, and there's a reason why I'm here. And this is where playing the game, is such it's such an important feature in order to win, because even when you're not winning, you realize that you're winning. The game of NOWism allows you to approach the moments of life with a level of willingness and a real, you're looking through the filter that everything is designed to assist you into evolving. Everything is designed to actually throw you forwards in some way. So even if you actually feel like you're blocked and your back's against the wall and you don't know what to do, like there's some part of your consciousness that is parked on the idea that there must be a gift in this and I'm going to find it. I think this is one of the pieces in the game of NOWism that allows for you to feel a level of success, even when on paper or in terms of, what we would call worldly success, it might seem like failure. On an evolutionary level, you're still winning because you're still participating and you're looking for the gifts. Yeah.
Oh, so good. So right now, you're listening. I want you to take a moment and think about what you got going on in your life. That difficult, challenging situation. It could be a friendship, romance. It could be family members. It could career, work, health, something going on in your body. And right now, if you can, look at this, step outside and ask just the question, what is the gift in this? And you might not get an answer right away. But even just saying, I know there's a gift here. I know there's a silver lining. I know there's a rainbow. I know there's a unicorn in here somewhere. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to find that gift. I'm going to look for it. I know it's there. Bring it to me. Show me the gift. And it will be shown. You'll see it. And then you can love the moment, because it's not what happens to you. It's what you do with what happens to you. A negative reaction creates a negative response, and a positive response creates a positive experience. And so that's how powerful we are, moment to moment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. In the game of NOWism, we have a little character that sort of embodies this idea. And this is the inner Now Ninja. The inner Now Ninja is like a pilot light of the divine. And so no matter how shit you're being or feeling or whatever it is that you're doing in your life, there is still one little molecule of you that is voting for your victory. There's one part of you that knows that all is well and that this is all initiating you into greater days. There is always one part of you that is open to the evolutionary possibility here. And so the game of NOWism is basically, it's based on you paying your inner Now Ninja. Now, I don't know if you know this, Andy, but no ninjas work for free. Like ninjas just won't do favors. Like they just don't, and I've been all across the galaxy, and I know this is a fact. They will not accept the currency of, money. They won't even accept your cryptocurrency. Sorry, bro. I know you're into it. But they will actually only receive and accept the ultimate universal currency of all time. And that one currency is your precious, precious attention. You must pay your inner Now Ninja your precious attention. And so what this means in terms of metaphysics is that you have to pay attention to the part of you that has a little bit of willingness. You have to pay attention to the part of you that is looking for the possibilities inside of the problems. You have to actually turn up and train yourself through training yourself into the context that you are, in fact, waking up in a friendly universe, that it is all working for you, not against you. Even though there's a shitstorm of chaos right now, there is a gift in it. Where is it? And once you have assigned a part of your currency to your inner Now Ninja, you will be in the most rich relationship with the greatest ally of all time. And that is ultimately your inner being. This is ultimately your inner awareness. And the art of the Now Ninja it's really simple. It's either when the shift hits the fan and you see that thing happen in your space, in this place that sort of does your head in some way, or it could trigger you, or it could start you spiraling downwards, you have this little moment, this little packet of time where you'll either react or respond. Reaction is your moment terrorists. That's the pollution of the mental atmosphere. That's the habit of the negative focus. That's the part of you that wants to get annihilated and sort of spiral downwards into eternal damnation. And then the response is the world of the Now Ninja. The response is this is a bit icky, but look, I'm going to find the gift in it. Where is it? And so this is where, can you feel how, just by being easier about all of this stuff, being easier about how messed up your mind is, how complex our patterns are, by just being a little bit more playful, you can catch yourself out in the non-nowness of a moment terrorist polluted moment and actually pay your inner Now Ninja some of the currency of your attention and lean out of the chaos and into a possibility just in the blink of a now.
In the blink of a now. Woo! It's so true. Like it's always there, the opportunity to shift and just find one little thing, one nugget of possibility, and then that can lead to the next and the next, because the thought you're thinking in any given moment is attracting more thoughts like it. And when you activate your Now Ninja, that I love hearing this again and going deeper into it, because it just makes it fun. It's like, oh yeah, I want to be a Now Ninja. I want to find the gift, the magic, the whatever just the delight that's always available to us. And so you've got, and I love that Now Ninjas only pay. They don't work for free. They only work on attention. They get paid attention.
Yeah, and that speaks to the journaling in the morning, the meditation practices. Like you have to train your inner Now Ninja. You got to pay attention. You got to do the airtime in your own mind, or else when you need the tool, when you're busy being a tool, right? When you need the tool, you want to have already trained your ninja, because you know what? When you need trust, you really, really, really need trust. When you need to just like relax for a little minute, you really need to relax. But you can't build the tool when your moment terrorism is taken over, and so the art of like paying your ninja is the art of having your spiritual practice and having a level of priority that, Andy says it best, like, feeling first, manifestation second. It's vibration activation. How are you going to activate your vibration? How are you going to lean towards possibilities instead of problems when the data is showing you that this is problem land, mate? You're standing in the middle of scarcity and you don't have any way out. Like, there is an art to actually choosing the value of your vibration first. And that's what NOWism is. This is what the game is. That's what the Manifestors Cafe is all about. This is a muscle that needs to be flexed.
Yeah, and it is. The more you flex it, the better you get at your Now Ninja skills. And as a byproduct, you start manifesting with less effort and more fun. And when you stop trying to manifest and you put more of the focus on your now state of being and how you're perceiving things, then it has to get better because you're feeling better. And I think all of us can look back on our lives at how we maybe stayed in a relationship too long or stayed in a job too long, because we just couldn't, like, we just kept thinking, well, maybe it'll get better. Well, maybe it'll change. Maybe this will happen. And then we finally get to that moment where we awaken or life shakes it out of us. And all of a sudden we are forced into a new job or career or relationship, or we finally say, that's it. I've had it. I'm now going to walk down a new path, and I'm going to trust that the universe is going to be there for me. And so, when you see it as a game, I'm playing a game, I'm playing a character, and, letting go of the woulda, coulda, shouldas, and it's supposed to last forever, and I'm supposed to be at this job and get this promotion, but then you've changed and you no longer want that promotion. You like, wait a minute, that's not who I am anymore. I'm feeling called to go do this. And so the more we can play the game every day, and for me, one of the practices I love to do to keep me in the game and stop and not get into the drama is journaling and meditating and just playing creativity, just daydreaming a beautiful image in my mind, a scenario in my mind, not that has to happen, but just for the fun of imagining something completely beautiful and different.
Exactly. I even have a little character around the journaling thing. It's about the pen. The pen's name is Inca, and Inca is one of the greatest allies of you. And in the game of NOWism, your name is free will. It's not Andy Dooley. It's free will. And that's how you're known all across the cosmos, is that everyone's voting for free will's victory and betting on where's free will going to vote with her or his precious attention. And so, but the story of the Inca, the pen, is that the pen is one of the most loyal allies that we have in this lifetime. But one of the things that really annoys Inca is when the pen is used for stupid shit. Like when when we're signing stupid contracts, or when we're, just writing down dumb stuff, or one of the worst things is, right, when free will has an amazing idea. Tell me if this has ever happened to you. You've had an amazing idea and you're like, it's so good, I'll remember that. And so you don't bother to write it down because you think that you're going to remember it. And then lo and behold, you get a little bit further down the timeline. You're like, shit, what was that amazing idea I had? Meanwhile, your amazing idea is in the idea sphere with a whole bunch of other lost amazing ideas trying to get together to find a way back to Earth to become a manifestation. Inca is the middleman here. Inca is your ally. Inca is the part of you that is supposed to be rehearsing best case scenarios. You're supposed to be learning the language of trust, of abundance, of vitality, of wholeness, of wellness. As we've discussed in the past, Andy, frustration is a language. Worry is a language. When we sit around worrying about stuff, there is a commentary that goes with that. What if I run out of time? What if there's not enough money? What if I don't make it? Blah, 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 blah. In order for us to change our minds, in order for the inner now ninja to do his little trick, we have to pay attention and actually do the time with Inca as well and learn the new language, learn the language of possibilities, learn the language of trust. I find out what I need to know when I need to know it. I'm always in the right place at the right time. I am on my way. The world is working with me, not against me. I love my life. This is a muscle that needs to be flexed. And I don't know about you, Andy, but I've coached so many people. And I'm pretty sure that if there was a shortcut, we would have found it between us. We would have constructed some sort of fast food enlightenment gig here. But there is no shortcut, all right? There is no short. You must put pen to paper. You must grab your Inca and actually learn the language of satisfaction. Learn the language of trust. Learn the language of ease, of flow. Learn the language of health and wholeness. This is the only way forwards, I believe.
Oh, so many gems in there, Kat. Damn. Yeah, learning the language. Ooh, this is so good because it gets you in that playful, creative, and it's a muscle and you want to develop. And so there's a tool I use with my clients. I use it in the Manifestors Cafe. I want to share it here. And it gets you back in that driver's seat, like where Inca can come through. So you can write these down or you can speak them verbally. And I like to speak them verbally. Sometimes I'll write them in my journal as well. And it's a sentence. It's just like a part of a sentence stem. It's like, this is the part of the story where. This is the part of the story where I develop a better language. This is the part of the story, my story that I'm living right now, that you're living right now. This is a part of the story where I get it, that life is happening for me. It's happening through me. This is the part of the story where I start finding the gift in every difficult situation. This is the part of the story where I start loving where I am right now. This is the part of the story where I start feeling more satisfied in my life. This is the part of the story where I'm a witness to the daily magic that's unfolding. This is the part of the story where I'm talking best case scenario. Yes. Can you feel that?
Yeah. And you know what I love about that, Andy? Because when we acknowledge that this is the part of the story when you're actually an observer consciousness, you're not being like free will in the story, banging around, wondering how the hell am I going to get out of this moment, but rather you're actually just taking a little bit of a go general, moment where you're observing from above and, it's like the director or the writer of the film is saying, no, this is the part of the story when there's an initiation. This is the part of the story where there is a gift that is stumbled across. This is the part of the story where, a new intention is born. This is the part of the story where Andy Dooley rises up. And by acknowledging from outside of your story and actually observing it, this is a playful posture. This is a more of an ease and flow posture to have when it comes to really dealing with what's going on. So I love this, and I really recommend that technique because it totally fits in with play and the game of life.
Woo!
Yeah.
To the game of life and playing. Let us take a moment just to take a nice deep breath on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Inhale. Hold it. Exhale. And just feel yourself coming back to your heart, coming back to center, knowing you live in a friendly universe and that it's all your playground to play with imagination, to have your free will, to tell a different story, to make the best of everything, just to love this moment, to love this now and feel the glory of this awakening within you, within humanity. And tell us, Kat, more about how we're all free will. And so the bigger, because you have a story that goes with NOWism as well. Yes. And you have a lead character, free will. Yes. And you have Dr. Now, and you have Moment Terrorists, and you have a list, of amazing characters in this story from Nick of Time, Drew Back, the ideas, Tom Morrow. So tell us about free will, and how does free will, and how are we free will?
Yeah, so free will is the central character of the story. Free will, metaphysically, represents choice. And choice is a function of awareness. So you only know that you have a choice when you're awake inside of the dream right now. So the story of free will, it's sort of like a abstract, new sort of regurgitated translation of the story of creation. So free will is sent from eternity into time to live out a glorious human life. She's the paradigm breaker, the storyteller. Now, what happens is in the beginning of the story is that she's actually she's choosing the content to go on air at a television station. The television station is called Presence Studios, and she's in charge of one program, and the program is called The Present Moment. Now, what happens is she's got all of this content coming in, and it's all really bad news. And so she's putting all this bad news on air. And as she's putting all of this bad news on air, she just gets more and more sad and tired and a little bit over her job. Now, in the idea sphere, in the galactic space of Dr. Now, there is a governing body called Eternal Affairs. Now, Eternal Affairs is watching free will, and they're starting to have concern because free will is, who is, by the way, loaded and coded with all of the powers to create reality. Free will is the emanation of the divine. Free will is here to bring forth gifts and talents and capacities. Free will can create any story that you can imagine in time and space. Now, what's happening is free will's fallen asleep inside of the dream and is believing in limitation. So now Eternal Affairs is getting really curious about it. Well, how does a godlike creature, a goddess creature, opt into limitation? Why would a godlike human, right, who's loaded and coded with all the facilities to create a radically powerful, beautiful story, why would free will fall asleep and believe that she's not enough, that there is not enough time, that the world is screwed, that humanity is broken? Why would this happen? And what they establish is that, in fact, there is so much distraction due to the uprise of moment terrorism that free will is actually bought into the limitations. And so the story begins with a divine intervention where they decide that we're waiting for the moment where free will asks a new question. Now, you can't mess with free will, right? Free will is the power of choice. You have free will, Andy. I have free will. The Eternal Affairs is not allowed to just come and mess with your free will. But as soon as we ask the right question, and anybody who's listening to Wake the F Up podcast right now, I know for a fact you are asking the right question. When I say the right question, what I mean by that is you're asking, how can I become more and not less of my true self? How can I become the right condition for my dreams to come true? what do I need to become in order for me to activate more of my potential? So when free will asks the right question, that's when Dr. Now does a quick crash course in creating reality to remind free will that you are actually made in the image and likeness of the divine. You are the ears and eyes of the universe. You have absolute everything that you need to create whatever it is that you want to create, but you cannot do this when you are being hijacked by moment terrorism. And so this is where the game of NOWism begins, which is my 12-week online extravaganza that allows for you to build a toolbox and to become free will, awake inside of the dream, putting better content on air, and eventually actually manifesting the ultimate life.
Wow, that is so cool. Oh, yeah, that free will and getting so caught up in the illusion of limitation, lack, limitation, and separation. And we all signed up for it. And now it's like, oh, I have a game that I can play that can get me back into that bigger, broader perspective and have fun being this character.
Yeah.
Wow, I love that. And I love the shift in because so many of us buy into, because, you know, this. So first, yeah, thank you for listening to Wake the F Up podcast, or watching some of these video clips, and please like, subscribe, and because we've got this is so juicy and so needed right now. And I love that when we go from thinking, because you hear a lot of people will say, you know, life's a test. You know, you're here to learn lessons, and yeah, that works. I understand what they're meaning, but think of the difference of, I'm here to learn and be tested, or I'm here to create. I'm here to have free will, and I'm here to play. And the learning and the growing, that's kind of just built in, but it's a different orientation when you're focused on, I'm here to learn lessons and be tested, as opposed to, I'm here to create, and I'm just learning as I create. Some things are going to work, some things aren't. And so free will gets you back into, you are the creator and you have free will. You're not stuck from the past. You're not a prisoner of your past. All your power is now, and you have free will in this moment to choose a different future, to choose a different path, to choose a different thought.
That's right. And then on the path of this game, you meet other allies and other friends of the cosmos that will assist you to stay focused on the ultimate task at hand. You know, one of the things that comes up in our sessions a lot, and I'm sure this is the same in Manifestors Cafe, is caring so much about what other people think. You know, like being held back by, yeah, but if I break out, if I do something extraordinary, I'm going to rock the boat here in my family or at my work or with my friends. Like we're in a looping sort of situation where people hold you to your personality. They hold you to your past. They hold you to who you used to be. And so one of my favorite pieces of the game of NOWism is when we meet the twerking rat. That's right. I came out and I just said it. I just laid it down.
Wow.
So
the twerking rat.
Yes. So if you can imagine free wills in a moment, the moment terrorists have hacked in, she's starting to feel the doubt and the fear. She can feel the difficult, and they're looming over her. There is this sort of feeling of what are other people going to think? Like, I can't break out. I'm not allowed. There's not enough creative license here for me to do this. And then suddenly, out of nowhere, in the center of her consciousness comes this little rat that's wearing fishnets and a little G-string and just starts to twerk in front of free will. And suddenly, in her mind's eye, she's got this rat that is teaching her, you can't be given a rat's ass. What other people think. And then suddenly the twerking rat is like this divine creative license for free will to actually extract herself, evict herself from the comfort zone, and go and do that thing that she didn't think she could do by giving no shit about what other people think. You can't give a rat's ass what other people think. Go forth and be the new version of you.
And if you twerk, even better. So go twerk it.
Go twerk. Yeah.
Wow. That's what we need. We need a strong visual that we can be snapped out of. And when you see a rat twerking, like, that's like, wait, what?
And this is like, I really want to invite everybody here to drop into the wisdom of the energy of play, because although this seems pretty wacky and sort of out there, what I know for sure, and this is from my own testimonials of my own dreams coming true, is that the manifestations pop in through the back door when you're not given a rat's ass what other people think. They come through the door when you're playing, when you're being easy about it, when there isn't a tension in your field. And all of these techniques, all of these characters, all of this playtime that we're sort of, inviting you into here, this is designed to soften the tension that you have in your field, the ache of your desires and these manifestations that you're trying to make happen. I know what it's like to really, 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 really want a breakthrough, to want a relationship, to want, a successful career, to be making money, to be contributing in a meaningful way during this time in human history. I know what it is to be a good person, but to feel like you don't have the resources. But through this art of deliberately starting to play, you will soften the tension in the field, which, by the way, is one of the main blocks to manifestation. We are in our own way. 9 times out of 10, you actually just need to just be easier about it. And the momentum of the universe will just flow. But this tension in the field is a huge part of the problem. And so the game of NOWism is really just about finding excuses to soften your focus so that the flow of who you really are, see what you want actually wants you. It's not radical what you want. By the way, that character, the twerking rat's name is Radical.
Radical.
Radical. Like what you want wants you. You're allowed to thrive, but you have to get out of your own way. So it's time to introduce Radical into the consciousness, and don't give a rat's ass what other people think, and see what happens.
Oh, it's so good, because you hear so many stories, and I'm sure I can think of one, maybe you can think of one, where someone finally says, I stopped caring, I stopped giving a rat's ass what other people think, and I went and I started the business, I got the divorce, I sold everything and, traveled the world. I just stopped caring what other people think. So this is an invitation to everybody listening to think in your life right now where you might be a prisoner in your own life, where the only reason you're a prisoner is because you're worried about what other people are going to think. And think about okay, why am I needing their validation? Why am I caring what they think so much? Let's validate yourself. Let's love yourself and honor your path, honor that creative energy that's coming through you, that's wanting to take you to a new place or new discovery, instead of, letting what other people are going to think. They won't like it. It'll mean this. It'll mean that. People will say I disappointed them. Right. And you just we all get to that level. I know I've had it in my times where I just, whether I was doing artwork or a video or a podcast, I'm just going to say it anyway. I don't give a shit what anybody thinks.
Yeah. How liberating it is too, right? To allow yourself that creative freedom. And what I've learned too is that as I rise up, as I evict myself from my own comfort zones, everybody actually benefits. And this is the really huge misconception of what we have about what other people think, is that generally other people are not thinking. They're just not and what they think of you is probably just a fleeting thought, and who gives a rat's ass what other people think. There's a few really cool sort of moment terrorist characters in the game of NOWism to help you disengage from this stuff. One of them is, don't join the difficult, the cult of difficulty, where we get together with people and we stay small because we're actually used to this sort of trauma bonding vibe where let's just talk about how hard it is. Let's talk about how expensive the petrol is. Let's talk about how the cost of avocados has gone up $4 in the last 3 months, whatever. We find these sort of accidental ways to connect with each other over the bad vibe. It's like we're listening to the music of the worry dolls, of the energy of anxiousness that is just going around and around and around. And it's don't join the difficult, and most of all, don't become the difficult leader. That's the worst thing ever. But like, how fun it is to notice in your own life, like, do you have a few friends that you get together and you just gossip or complain about stuff? And now that we've had this conversation and Wake the F Up podcast, maybe you will remember in this moment when you go to do that again, oh my goodness, I'm being the leader of the difficult. Holy shit balls, don't do that. And lean towards something new here where you can become more visionary, where you can maybe, actually introduce the radical into your life and disengage from these conversations and become more of who you really are. But this allows for us the creative license to be playful about changing parts of our internal structures, our internal habits, without being really heavy about it. Oh my God, I'm going to have to disengage from all these people. No, man, I'm just going to leave the difficult. Simple.
It really can be simple. And when you keep it in the playing a game context, instead of life is a test and I have to leave this to go that, and you get into the playing the game. And so I love, not being the leader of the difficult and getting away from people who want you to talk about, bitch and complain, who want you to get onto the bitch train and commiserate. It's just like, no, I'm done with that energy. I'm done with that. I'm trusting that there's something bigger for me, and, take that path of least resistance. It doesn't have to be a big, complete 180. You can slowly move away, or sometimes, maybe you do need to just cut ties and go, or quit the job and go, because now you're really in a whole completely different situation. And if you find yourself complaining, one of the tools I teach is stop, cancel, clear, get the F out of here. Stop, cancel, clear, get the negativity, get the complaining, get it out of here. Stop, cancel, clear. There's magic here. My power is now.
Yes. Yeah. And it's a really deep level of self-love to let yourself be free from the patterns that hold you back, and it is my desire that through providing creative, entertaining ways to participate in parts of your consciousness, that you can actually rise above yourself, literally, and have a creative license and actually get past some of these things that hold you back and actually be playful and have a lot of fun doing that. One of the most fearful things as we decide to transform is that as you start to sort of dissolve parts of your beloved negative personality, you get a bit nervous about, well, who am I actually? And so instead of having an anxious fear about the future, we can be on a sort of a really sweet adventure with the unknown. I think that's what the game of NOWism really provides, is this it's a ticket to play. It's a ticket to be on an adventure with the unknown instead of freaking out about, oh my goodness, like, what am I doing? Like, I want to wear my wounds on my sleeve. I want to remain a part of the difficult. I want to let, the professor crastinate continue to be the CEO of my mind. All of these these things that hold us back, they actually just make us comfortable. When you evict yourself from the comfort zone, you get uncomfortable. But through playing a game of NOWism, you can actually be playful in your discomfort. And I think that that's a really unique way to approach this work.
And I love what you said about the unknown. We get so addicted to the known. We want that sense of certainty. It's one of the 6 human needs. We want to be certain that our needs are met, that the roof is over our head. And let's get our basic needs met and then allow for a little more uncertainty, a little more magic, variety to come in, saying yes to the adventure. Like this week, I'm in a cabin up in the mountains in the hot springs, and I said yes. I had all the reasons too of like, well, I got stuff to do, and I'm doing a podcast, and I got calls, and I evicted myself out of my comfort zone, drove through a snowstorm to be here, because I want the adventure. I want to hang around some new people. I want to go deeper. The unknown, here's a quote I've used in my coaching and in the Manifestors Cafe: the unknown is my friend. The unknown is my friend. That's where I'm going to find the magical rendezvous. It usually comes from when you least expect it, from the person you don't even know, or the person you just met is the one who opens the door to the new world, the new relationship, the new opportunity, the healing. The unknown is my friend. If you can remember that, write that ship down. The unknown is my friend. This is the part of the story where I step into the unknown. This is the part of the story where I know that I can step boldly and confidently, and the universe has my back.
Yes. Just remember that in the idea sphere, eternal affairs is watching free will. Like, is she going to actually respond or react? Is it the fight between the Moment Terrorist and the Now Ninja? Who's going to win this argument today? Because the fight really is just in your own mind. You know, the battle of your own doubts and fears and worries versus the vision and the possibility and the brilliance in you. Every single day we wake up knowing that we have something to bring forwards in this life. And sometimes we're confused about how to do that. Sometimes we're not sure about the next step to take. But just remember that free will signed up for the adventure with the unknown. But you were not sent here without any allies. Your allies are loaded and coded inside of you. Your Now Ninja is waiting to be paid by you today. And so don't get slack. Pay your precious Now Ninja your precious attention. Do the time. Get your Inca and actually do some journaling and actually learn the language of repetition. Turn up your possibilities and get more advanced in your language of potential. You know, you're using your energy all day, every day anyway. But the truth is most of us have let the Moment Terrorists hack into the television station. You're in a broadcast and the content that's on air is spammy infomercials about what's not working. You know, you got documentaries of apathy and sadness and they play all day long. Meanwhile, the visionary part of you is ready to be loaded and coded. All you have to do is choose it. And at first you might need to work the muscle. And if you care too much about what other people think, invite your radical into the center of your pineal gland and twerk yourself into nowness. There is something that's trying to happen through you, but you must vote with your precious attention. And so we call it the plurk. It's play, but it's work. It's plurk. Get into it.
I'm ready to plurk it, baby. Plurk it. Plurk it, baby. Plurk it. I love this has been such a phenomenal podcast. I hate to call it a podcast. It's podcast. But anyway, but yeah, the game. So let me reflect. The game of NOWism is you are the main character in the game of NOWism, and you are free will. Yes. And you have Moment Terrorists, which is in your brain, and you have Now Ninjas, and you know they represent the light and the dark, the positive and the negative. And you have free will of, are you going to join in the moment terrorist and you know make more terror, more drama in your life, or are you going to go with the Now Ninjas and pay your focus, your attention, your precious attention on the good, the magic, the gift, and one of the tools is to, when you're getting sucked into the drama, the terrorists are taking over. Think of the radical. And twerking, and that snaps you out of it to get you. What is the rat? The rat.
The rat is about not giving a rat's ass what other people think.
That's it. That's not giving a rat's ass. Doing the thing that is really coming from your heart, your soul, honoring that. You know, I hear so many stories, especially people on the spiritual journey, like Vagrant. She was in my cafe. Her name is. Jessica Herman, and she channels Vagrant. And she said for years, she just kept pushing away the voice, pushing away that her ability to tune in and bring in this divine energy, this amazing information. And she was pushing it away because she was worried about what other people would think. It's not hip. And as a child, her mom was like, we don't talk to invisible people after, we're 4 years old. But so many of us have that gift, whether it's artistic or writing or a business or a nonprofit or something, collecting seashells, whatever, like whatever your thing is, stop giving a rat's ass, don't give a rat's ass, and go pursue that thing.
Right. And you might need to leave the difficult. You might need to hook up with Inca to actually talk yourself into your truth. The game of NOWism is literally a smattering. I think there's 50 characters at the moment of all these different meanings and, layers of creative license that allow you to understand aspects of yourself without getting too caught up in the seriosity of this practice. I hope that you'll come and join us actually, because it's a lot of fun, and I'm really enjoying you relaying what you're learning, Andy, because it's really fun for me to hear the story of free will through the filter of Andy Dooley. So thanks for doing that. It's really cool.
Yeah, you're welcome. We're going to start to wrap it up, and I want to go further in future podcasts, because there's Dr. Now, there's Drew Back, there's Tom Morrow. These are really incredible characters that you can start identifying with and playing in your consciousness to shift you in, to keep you in the play and the fun, the magic of life. It's so juicy. This whole creative world that Kat has going, and pretty soon you'll have, you have some illustrations now what these characters look like, so it makes it more real. It makes it more, I can grab that, I can see that rat.
Right.
It's just amazing.
Yeah, thank you. And, maybe in our future podcast, we could do a bit of a screen share. I was just seeing there is a function for that, and I can share and flick in and out of some of these characters. I'm very, very honored at the moment because it's gone to the next level, and I'm working with an amazing man who actually just won the Annie Award for Best Character Design in the world. I'm also married to one of the greatest animators in the world, but there's a movement now with this world of NOWism, and I'm super honored to be able to share this here on this podcast. And this is very leading edge because I share it in the game of NOWism, but it's actually pretty in-house. So it's a great honor to release a few little secrets here with you, Andy, and to air out the metaphysics of it, actually, to air out the wisdom and the layers of it, because although it's entertainment, it really is transformational entertainment. And my great love here is to create a meaning here where you as the listener get to adopt these characters and they come to life in your consciousness. And that's just a lot of fun.
That's magic. I mean, that is truly magic. I mean, that's what Walt Disney has done. Yeah. And his legend and the stories and the characters all live on in our minds. And now you have the whole world of NOWism. I want to thank all the people who jumped in here today and we're on the live call and commenting. We're going to be going live video more. We're still working it all out, how to go live and record and all of it on the Facebook and the YouTube. Check out Kat with her NOWism, NOWism.com. Her game, her 12-week journey. You can go, she can personally guide you through that.
It's actually on catdoors.com. And come check it out. Come play. There'll be links around our podcasts always. So check us out. And also the Manifestors Cafe. If you're ready to actually workshop the language and to learn how to, in the nowness of your moment, speak from the space of, this is the part of the story where I do this sort of victory moment. Andy is so good at assisting people to actually embody this practice instead of it just being talking heads. So, please check out andydooley.com and the Manifestors Cafe.
And let's wrap it up, 1 to 2 minute of that's rights back and forth, kind of just summarizing, this call and that life is a game. It's not a test and, all the good things. Okay.
Yes.
That's right. Life is a game.
That's right. There's so much wisdom in the energy of play.
That's right. I am stepping into the unknown and trusting the universe has my back.
That's right. And I'm enjoying the essence of the adventure of the unknown.
That's right. When I face contrast and difficulties, I'm now looking for the gift.
That's right. Even when it looks like a shitstorm of non-nowness, there is still a gift.
That's right. And that gift is I have free will to choose what I want to see, what I want to magnify.
That's right. And my free will is active because my choice is a function of my awareness. I'm awake.
That's right. I love being awake in time-space reality where I know I am the creator.
That's right. And I love knowing that I am the perfect condition to bring forth something exceptional starting right now.
That's right. Starting right now, I'm going to follow my heart and not give a rat's ass what anybody thinks.
That's right. And I am not going to join the difficult anymore. Instead, I'm going to lead with my Now Ninja.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Thanks so much. Yes. Thank you, everybody, for turning up. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for shining. Mr. Dooley, thank you for encouraging more of Wake the F Up podcast. We can't wait for next week. And if you have a topic that you would like us to cover, please do send us a little message of nowness.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye.
Ciao.
Yeah, so that's the show. Thank you for joining us. Please subscribe, share it with a friend. We love you. Let's keep creating the good vibes, mastering our state of being, and making the best of everything.
If you want to know more about the great Andy Dooley and the Manifestors Cafe, you can check the links below. If you would like to know more about the game of NOWism and building that toolbox for your consciousness, then check us out. We'll see you there.
Woohoo!
Yeah, baby.